and welcome to This Week at the Movies. My name is Matt, and it is the first weekend in May. Quite a few different, interesting films to check out. I'm going to talk about a couple of big wide releases and then a trio of limited releases. But you really can't kick off the first week in May, which is the first week of summer at the movies, without talking about our first blockbuster, and that is The Devil Wears Prada 2. It has been 20 years since the original came out. We get a sequel, returns director David Frankel, returns screenwriter Eileen Brosh McKenna, again based on the characters created in the novel by Lauren Weisberger, and returns the primary actors from the first one, Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley, Anne Hathaway as Andy Sachs, Emily Blunt as Emily, and Stanley Tucci as Nigel. And you know what? If you enjoyed the first one, if you enjoyed the comedy, if you enjoyed these characters in this world, you are really going to love this second one. There's not a lot that I'm going to say that's going to turn you off, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a rare sequel that completely delivered. I'm giving this one a strong thumbs up. I have it currently in my top 12 for the year. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked the back and forth. I liked the return to this world. Anne Hathaway still continues to be great in this part. I like her back and forth with Meryl Streep, her back and forth with Stanley Tucci, and her back and forth with Emily Blunt. All of these characters coming back. Does the story always hit all the right notes? Maybe not, but there are some great cameos. There is a great extended cast. There is a great return to this world, kind of a fun story. I like kind of the emotional beats and where we ended with some of these characters a little bit more this time. I thought they gave a little bit more three-dimensional depth to Miranda Priestley. I know some people have commented that she doesn't have as many cool biting lines, and that probably is true, but there were some emotional moments that really worked for me, especially kind of a climactic big moment between Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci. I continue to really enjoy Nigel, the Stanley Tucci character, the great performance there. We get not as much of Emily Blunt, kind of a different role. She's more on the periphery, comes and goes, but has some really fun and really great moments. I just had a blast with this film. I think it is a great way to kickstart into summer and just a fun time at the movies. So, like I said, a big thumbs up. I thought that one worked really well. I can't quite say the same for the other wide release this week, and that is the new film Deep Water. Look, I am a fan of disaster films. I am a fan of shark movies. So when you have a plane crash disaster film where they crash into shark infested waters, it feels like this is the kind of movie that is made for me. It's problematic when you see a film that has 6 credited writers. It's probably also a little bit problematic when you see that the film was directed by Rennie Harlin. Look, he gave me one of my favorite shark movies in Deep Blue Sea, which is what made me a little bit moderately excited here. But a lot of his action films have just been okay. For every cliffhanger that maybe works pretty well, we've had a film like Driven that didn't work all that well. He directed Die Hard 2, probably one of the most underwhelming installments of the Die Hard franchise for me in terms of missed opportunities. And of late, he gave us 3 chapters of The Strangers when really none would have done. This one follows an international flight from Los Angeles to Shanghai. They are, unfortunately, the plane has some serious problems. The plane is piloted by Aaron Eckhart and Ben Kingsley. Getting Ben Kingsley in a movie like this, probably a little unexpected as well, but he doesn't stay too long. You have plenty of cliches here with snooty passengers. They're more archetypes than characters, which is a real unfortunate situation, even the one that Eckhart plays. It's an hour and 46 minutes, feels like it has 2 or 3 endings. A tight 89 or 90 minutes is probably all you can take in this genre. They They do some frustrating things with the story. At one point in time, to its credit, I thought this film was going to kill both a grandmother and a small child. And I was even thinking that verged on a little bit too much. They only select one of those in the final tally. There are a lot of plot threads that are kind of brought up and forgotten. There are some weird situations where character story doesn't exactly get resolved in a satisfying way, or the deaths are kind of off screen or not really seen, kind of left to the imagination, which is not what you're looking for in a film like this. I am giving this one a thumbs down. Look, there were some cool sequences. I'm going to say the plane crash sequence was actually pretty good. There are some sequences on the water that are okay. There's a very satisfying moment at the end where one of the least likable passenger characters in the history of this kind of film gets probably his just desserts. But this is not a great film. I had low expectations, and still somehow this managed to go a little bit below them. So, mild thumbs down. If you're like me and you're a shark film enthusiast and completist, you're probably going to check this out anyway. But it wasn't exactly the scope and spectacle I was hoping for. So those are a couple of big wide releases, a really fun comedy in The Devil Wears Prada 2, a really underwhelming disaster film in Deep Water. But there are some other films that are playing in a limited release that are out now. The first of those I'm going to talk about is Blue Heron. This one coming from a writer-director, Sophie Rombari. You can actually check out a bunch of her short films on the Criterion channel, which I did, which was actually kind of fun as a companion to this feature film. You can see some of the themes and some of the styles and some of the way that she's tackling stories like this that are in the short films that kind of come to bear in this feature film, which is really about a family in the 90s that is relocating to Vancouver Island in Canada, looking for a fresh start. And it soon becomes clear why. There's mother, father, three smaller kids, and an older teenage son, Jeremy, who seems to be having some issues. And it turns out that Jeremy and some of his issues are the reason that they had to relocate. The parents trying desperately to find a way to connect, to get him more grounded in the world, and for him to have a more normal back and forth relationship with his siblings. It's all kind of spiraling out over this one summer. And then we jump forward at one point in time and we see a lot of the film through the eyes of the young daughter, Sasha. And then we see Sasha as an adult still grappling with what happened and some of the depth of that. This is a very slow building movie, quick 90 minutes. It seems like a slow character portrait for a while until you kind of slowly start to see what is unfurling. And there ends up being some real powerful emotional moments, especially as we turn through the second act, the kind of reveal of Sasha as an adult and where this is all going and the way they put this all together. I really enjoyed the actress that played the adult version of Sasha, Amy Zimmer, and Eddick Beddoes, who played Jeremy, and I think there are some really powerful moments there. I'm giving this one a thumbs up. This has been in limited release for a couple of weeks. It may or may not be playing anywhere near you right now. If it is, I recommend you go check it out. It should be on VOD pretty soon, but a very interesting, different kind of personal drama. Next up, a movie that opened in limited release in a lot of different markets, including in Denver, by where I live, and in Nashville, by where our site, Music City Drive-In, kind of is headquartered, and that is Europsa. Sure, I'm not pronouncing that entirely correctly, but this one, it's in part a foreign film. It takes place in Warsaw. There is plenty of Polish spoken here, including by a narrator character. This one comes from writer-director Pete O's, who worked on the script with stars Lena Gora and Charlie XCX, and that is why I say part of it is in Polish, but part of it definitely is in English, especially the parts with Charlie XCX, who plays a girl named Bethany, who is on vacation in Warsaw with her boyfriend Rob, played by Will Madden. It's a place she's been before where she has some connections. Rob is coming to this place hoping to make a grand romantic gesture, but is Bethany in the right place to receive it? Instead, an eruption happens at Mount Etna. They end up stuck there for a little bit longer, and that gives her a chance to reconnect with Nell, played by Gora, who is a friend that she met long ago and has periodically connected with over time when there have been volcanic eruptions. Kind of an interesting setup here. This movie's 71 minutes, moves along at a very good pace. Uh, I thought this was completely charming. It was an interesting style of filming, feels almost like a home movie quality at times, and I think that that is somewhat intentional. Jeremy O. Harris plays an American artist named Claude that ends up in their orbit. I thought that was pretty fun. Charlie XCX, very great here. I really enjoyed Gora and Madden. There is a great turn in the third act when Rob and Nell actually get together and share some time together in the wake of some of their interactions with Bethany that I found kind of charming. Harris's Claude is along for the ride with them during part of that. I just found the whole thing kind of charming, kind of engaging. I really enjoyed the narration. And it was a different kind of movie, kind of a big surprise for me. I'm giving this one a thumbs up. It just worked. It moves at a great crisp pace. There is a lot of fun here. So, we're getting some of these smaller releases that are pretty exciting, kind of pull you in, draw you in, and offer a little bit of something different. And that is certainly the case with this movie. A big surprise for me, one that I enjoyed. And again, it is out in limited release this weekend. If you can find it playing near you, I recommend going and checking it out. Not a big commitment. I think you are going to have a lot of fun with it too. If you've ever been someone who's been in a place where maybe you're in a different place in the relationship than someone else and all the tough things that entails, you really get a feel for both Rob and Bethany in this film. Just a fun ride. I don't know if it'll qualify for international feature. I think it should. And it would be one of my favorites in that genre this year so far. Another one that definitely qualifies in that is Last One for the Road. This one is a road movie, kind of a found friendship movie, kind of a small time crooks movie. It's about two kind of blustery 50 somethings that are small time criminals that are down in Venice trying to have a little bit of fun. They run into a shy architecture student named Julio, and they convince him to kind of go on this journey with them. They're always just getting one last drink, one last stop. Ends up being kind of this boozy tour that ends up having an impact on both them and Julio. This one born of a similar night for the director Francisco Sosai, who also co-wrote the screenplay. It's kind of fun. It's like a good hang for a couple of hours. A little bit of comedy, a little bit of pathos, a little bit of thinking about things. I'm giving this one a mild thumbs up too. This one in limited release this week. Obviously, an Italian film, going to be completely in subtitles. But I think it's a journey worth taking if you just want to kick back, have a little bit of fun, and have a few laughs. This one certainly provides a lot of that. Ends up being kind of a heartwarming adventure. You get sucked into the sphere of these three guys and the way that they're intersecting with each other and touching each other's lives. And it ends up being a pretty fun journey. So, Last One for the Road. Definitely worth seeking out. I liked all three of these limited releases: Blue Heron, Eruptia, and Last One for the Road. I thought they were all interesting, all have different strengths and weaknesses. Really enjoyed The Devil Wears Prada too. And Deepwater Exists. That's about I'm going to say about this week. So a lot going on. We are into the throes of summer. Next week, and I have Sheep Detectives. I'm hoping to be able to check out Mortal Kombat, maybe some others as well. So we're back. Summer movie season is on. Blockbusters. We're going to have a lot of different things for a lot of different viewers. But until next week, I'll see you guys at the movies.